Hello, Namaskar, good evening. This is Simran Singh. Welcome to NCERT's live interaction. It's about 4 p.m. on your watch and this is the time for our special sessions that we call webinar. Well, you could watch this particular session of webinar. It's an online training on our channel number 6 to 12, that is PM eVidya channel number 6 to 12, or you might also connect with us through our YouTube channel that you all are well aware of. It is NCERT official. Well, just providing you a brief overview of our online training sessions. It's a 5 days online training on social media for education. We started this training sessions from yesterday, that is from 21st to 25th February 2022. Yesterday we discussed about social media, can they support learning, and today our topic for the session remains integration of Facebook in education. Tomorrow we will have a discussion regarding integration of Twitter in education on 24th of February, that is on the 4th day of our online training. We will discuss about integration of YouTube in education, and on 25th, that is the concluding day for this online training, we will have our experts discussing about cyber safety, connect with care. So today's session is on integration of Facebook in education. So we are also joined by an expert to make this learning process more conducive for you. So let me introduce her to you. We have with us Dr. Ajita Deshmukh. Namaskar, ma'am.
Namaskar.
A very warm welcome. Ma'am is, thank you. Ma'am is Assistant Professor at School of Education and Research, MIT ADT University, has joined in from Pune. Besides, it gives me immense happiness to inform all of you that her doctoral research discusses leveraging Facebook for education. And viewers, through our live interaction, if you have any of the questions, so feel free to reach out to us in the comment section of NCERT official. Besides, you may also note this contact number flashing on your screens. It is 8800440559. Here is our mail ID if any of your queries remain unanswered, so feel free to write to us at training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. So, Dr. Ajita, let's quickly begin this session. The entire 1 hour is for you, and please inform our viewers what we will be learning in today's online training.
Okay, thank you, Simran, and thank you CIT and CRT for calling this particular program, which is on social media in education, and it's such a relevant topic when we consider today's timing. Social media in education, people, when I started my doctoral, people were not even agreeing that this could be something serious. It was always trivialized, and today we are here taking social media in education. So what we are going to do today is we are going to see what is the purpose of social media in education and can it be used. We are also going to see some do's and don'ts, and then we will go on with the actual demonstration of Facebook to be used in education. We will be seeing how 2 things can be done in Facebook. We will be seeing Facebook groups and we will be seeing Facebook pages. So should we start with our social media learning, and I hope that
Sure, I am eagerly waiting to learn more about it. So let's get started.
Okay, so this is the afternoon time, probably everybody is tired towards the end of the day and everybody logs into the social media. Definitely, yes, at this time around, it's a chai break and chai के साथ social media बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है, और उसी के साथ अगर education को जोड़ दिया जाए, so nothing better than that. So what is the biggest question today is this, that we have so many social media handles. So as you can see here, what to use? First of all, the question to use or not to use, and then if yes, then what to use and when to use and where to use, that is the question. Shakespeare had it easy, it was just to be or not to be. Here the questions just don't end. So today, if you see this, we have like Simran just said, that we're going to have like 5 paid sessions on different social medias and how they can be integrated. So we are going to talk about one of the oldest social media, as it is called, and therefore many of the teenagers actually are moving towards Snapchat and Instagram, which is also a part of my research. But yes, the Facebook one, because we all are there. Whether you like it, you hate it, but yes, we all are there. So first thing first, there are definitely some important things. That is the security and privacy concerns, as we all know that social media is feeding lots of commercial parts that is the AI actually works for the commercial propagation. We know that. We also are worried, and rightly so, that what about the safety? What about our data that is being sold? So we have to know what data we are going to put up. Are we infringing any copyright? Are we doing anything that is illegal? So all these things have to be considered first when we are considering integrating any social media for education. Here, specifically Facebook, when we are talking about this, has to be the first thing, because it definitely has brought up lots of, it has opened like a Pandora's box some time ago, wherein people are really worried about the privacy concerns. But if you take care of them, then definitely it is a wonderful platform, and that is what we are going to demonstrate. Second point that we see here is its presence everywhere. Now, why do we say that its presence everywhere, or it's all pervasive? Basically, we say that it is because really the bandwidth required is extremely low. It's also accessible from the mobile phones. It can take up all sorts of media, and therefore social media is said to be one of the good channels that can not only support, but like I did my doctoral upon, that it was scaffold. The scaffold is, you can actually have it not just as a support if and when, but actually integrate it as a part of your curriculum and give your formal education a proper scaffolding. Now, moving ahead, if we are going to try to look at it with a different lens, then what's going to happen? So the first thing is, okay, we have like taken care of our privacy concerns, the security concerns, and all of that. Now is the time, and nothing better than teaching digital citizenship and safe internet practices, but to use social media. अगर आप किसी को भी डिजिटल सिटीजनशिप या सेफ इंटरनेट प्रैक्टिसेस क्या होते हैं इसका अगर डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन करवाना चाहते हैं, तो ज़रूरी है कि आप सोशल मीडिया का इस्तेमाल करके आप उनको बेहतरीन तरीके से यू कैन पुट अक्रॉस द मैसेज वेरी वेरी क्लियरली. And the second important thing, we are talking about 21st century skills all the time in education. तो उसमें क्या है? उसमें critical thinking है, उसमें collaboration है, you know the 4 C's, the very famous 4 C's. तो उसमें से ये जो 2 C's हैं, that is critical thinking and collaboration, ये तो सबसे ज़्यादा important है. Critical thinking जब हम कहते हैं 21st century में, तो कैसे पता चलेगा? या हम कैसे इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं सोशल मीडिया को for 21st century skills? Well, something comes up in your news feed, and the moment the first thought comes to your mind is this true or is it fake news? That is what you are actually trying to teach your students or trying to teach anyone actually. What is critical thinking? कि आप किसी भी चीज को whatever is served to you, you don't have to accept. ठीक है? तो you have to question. You have to argue, you have to find out evidence to support what you're saying, and that is the basis of critical thinking skills, and that is how you can use very effectively your social media handles, any social media handles for that matter. And because we said that Facebook is one of the oldest and mostly all the teachers are there, we have lots of groups for teachers on Facebook. They are, of course, they are there on Twitter also, they are there on Pinterest also, they are on all the social media handles as well. But this is how we can actually inculcate, I'm specifically using the word inculcate. We can inculcate 21st century skills when we are talking about social media in education for our students. Going ahead, now the first thing is how do we use social, like scaffolding our formal education with the help of social media. Now the first thing is, let's find out the purpose. So what am I going to use my Facebook group or Facebook page as? What is the purpose for that? Is my purpose just to give out a notice board? Well, it's not that, right? Because social media is everything about communication and collaboration. So if we are talking about communication, its notice board or just giving out notices is not the function of any social media. It has to be a two-way communication. Then in my group, I should also involve questions or discussions in that comment section that comes there, and ask my students to start commenting and commenting and commenting. Of course, we have to put down the ground rules कि ये language नहीं चलेगी, कोई foul language नहीं होगा, आप topic पे हट के बात करेंगे तो हम आपकी comment को delete कर देंगे. So many rules you can always lay down, but the purpose has to be very, very clear. We can also use it as actually the instructional tool which many people used it during the pandemic. During the pandemic, what happened was there is a digital divide, whether you like it or not, there is. So there are multiple alternatives were thought of that how can we bridge this digital divide. One of the most frequently used one was social. And actually, before the education, people in education used it, it was basically the artists who used this. And the artists started going Instagram live and Facebook live because it used the minimum most bandwidth, and their stories and their reels could be very like massively reached to public, and without having much of a studio at their end. That was the most important thing. Otherwise, what happens usually is that we need a studio, we need a recording. But during the pandemic, when everybody was stuck inside the house and still we wanted to deliver lectures, it was found that Insta Live or Facebook Live was one of the best solutions, rather than Google Meet or even other virtual learning platforms which probably, I'm not an expert in that, but which probably utilizes a little more bandwidth as compared to these. So when we say social media platforms, it has got very specific uses. Now, what do we mean by very specific uses? Is it like just commenting? Well, of course it is commenting, but we can also collaborate. Now, when we say collaborate, how do we mean, or what do we exactly mean by that? Suppose if I have 2 or 3 schools in my area, and I can always open my Facebook group for all the students in my area, and we can develop a project. Let the school students interact with each other, and not only in my area, I can in fact connect with people who are much far beyond. So I will just give you an example of this, that many years ago, when I was working just with an e-learning company, we had this particular part where a remote village which is in Maharashtra, and it's very remote, and it doesn't usually have, it's, I mean, by road also it is not accessible, and there are other issues with it. It just has got, like the political and other issues. So how does a teacher go there and give expert lectures? So we had seen this, that at that time also the village sarpanch, whatever we call, he had asked us to do it using Facebook. And we had found that yes, the Facebook thing at that time, because Insta was not very popular at that time, it worked very well. So you can definitely reach out to far-flung areas which do not have that much access. Another such incident that from my experience I'll tell you, we have seen schools in remote Rajasthan where students, the schools did not have that many teachers, but the school students had email and had Facebook, and therefore they actually reached out to expert teachers abroad as well. And they sent out emails and messages, and even I do get messages like this in my own Facebook Messenger.